Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today my guest is Ritesh Sharma, who has directed Jhini Bini Chadariya, one of the most relevant film in our generation. If you want to watch the full movie, link is in the description. It is available until 10 April. So do watch the movie and then watch this interview and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you. So, sir, my first question is like, what inspired you to become a filmmaker, sir? Why you choose filmmaking?
I never choose filmmaking. Like I always choose storytelling. It's basically I started as an actor. I was in school and um, I was doing acting. It was so much interesting to just improvise something and tell to the audience, and it was fun to see audience laughing, and then you can make them cry too. So that's how it started, and I started loving the storytelling. And I felt okay. This is one of the very magical stuff. You can just change the mood of the audience whenever you want, however you want. And then I started reading poems and some stories, and then it started growing in me. And after that, I when I was I think somewhere around 13, 14, I felt okay. I want to be an actor, and that time just watching Bollywood cinema, wanted to be like Govinda or someone like that. I just wanted to go in Bombay and wanted to be an actor. That's it. There was nothing to do film or cinema. I was watching. I was just watching film because it was so much fun. And then I started doing theater. I started doing theater in Mughal Sarai, the place where I am from, near Varanasi. And later on, I went to Delhi, uh, did a lot of theater there too. And then I felt okay, as a director, you have more power to kind of tell your own story. Can tell your story through actors, and also you have lights and you have sound, you have music, and that thing started fascinating me. And those times when I was doing theater, those times only I started watching cinema and more, and I watched Scorsese and Satyajit Ray, Shyam Benekar, all those people, and I started liking cinema. I think that was my journey in the college started when I really felt okay. Cinema is something that you can capture the moment. You can capture the moment. You can edit it. You can tell the story in that way. And there I felt okay. It will be fun to uh, be the director of cinema, not only for theater. And then my acting thing in theater was on, but because I was doing directing my plays too, I felt to direct cinema, and from there the journey starts. And then felt okay. Let's understand this whole visual medium that's so powerful, and that's it. That's how I started my filmmaking journey.
Okay, okay. So, what
Yeah.
were you studying at that point of time, like during your graduation days?
I was in Delhi University. I was studying commerce, nothing. But I was basically I was not going to college. मतलब मैं वहाँ जा नहीं रहा था. I was not attending the college. It was evening college, Sri Aurobindo College evening. So morning I was doing a lot of theater, and evening I was just going to study. But exactly I was not study. I was making a team to do plays and watching films together. So that was the whole thing. There was never studying in the college. Yeah, but yeah, it was commerce something because my dad said, okay, you have to be something, you have to earn. So I said, okay, commerce, whatever is coming, let it be. Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, when your interest in documentary started, because your early films were documentaries.
Uh, when I was doing theater, majorly my theater was it was because I started as a street theater artist. So when I was doing street play, when you do street plays, majorly you talk a lot about issues, the current issues, and you talk about whatever things are not correct, whatever you feel. Okay, this is very important to talk. So you do street plays. You just take your duffly and then with your team, and then you try to tell the story, improvise your story, and that was so much fun. So while I was doing it, I felt okay, theater not only for fun, but also I can use it to tell something that I really want to tell. And then the documentary cinema, I think Anand Patwardhan was someone whom I watched, and Rakesh Sharma that time in my college days. And I felt, okay, it's a very visual medium when I'm starting. It's a very powerful medium because I can talk to the real people. I can know them better. I can understand them better. And then I can shoot and record all of them and edit it and tell this. And it's a very powerful medium because everything that I'm telling is not fiction. It's true. Anand Patwardhan's Ram Ke Naam and Rakesh's Final Solution literally helped me to kind of create or say something I started my first, when I decided to tell my first story, The Holy Wives. It At that time I wanted to tell a story through cinema, and I got to know about this human trafficking in Bedia Bachana community where the parents are selling their own kids, and that I felt, okay, this is a topic that I want to tell my audience. I want people to aware, because I was talking to friends and they don't know about human trafficking. They never heard about ki, parents can sell their own kids. And I went to those villages. So it started with the college days. I was in college, just started working a little bit part-time job, and then when I met this one woman who was working on those issues in Madhya Pradesh, I got really excited to know, and it was so horrifying for me to know that parents are selling their kids and there's so much human trafficking involved. So I went to that village to spend time and to understand the whole thing. And then exactly then it's just felt, okay, this is this topic, this issue I want to say, and then I said it. That's how I started my film, my first film.
Okay. So what were the difficulties you faced, because it's a really heavy topic and you were doing a documentary, and were you nervous while shooting and making the film?
Uh, Not exactly nervous, but I told you ki for me it was very emotional. I'm a very emotional artist. When I went to that village, I met those kids. I have a specialization in children theater, so that helped me to get involved with the kids better. And I remember that night that I was just there to. I was angry that how can you sell their own sisters, and how can you do that? How the parents can sell their own kids? And one night I was in, there's a small ashram. This lady who was working there, she started this organization. I was staying at her house, and in morning when I was playing with those kids, I was angry and I said that how can you sell your own sisters in this whole thread is so horrifying, and any with these higher caste people are just using those girls, and when she's only 15 or 16 or 14, so how can you do this? And I remember late night when I was sleeping, some kids came to me, and they, they it was it the incident was very dramatic because it was far away in Madhya Pradesh, in Sagar district called Pathariya, or there's no light, there's no. I'm talking about 2008 somewhere. So there was the conditions really bad of that village. So they had Petromax, and they all the kids. I think there are some 30, 40 kids who came, and they said they called me outside, and I was like, okay, that's possible. That's my last day of my life of what I said and why I said. But the kids came to me and gave me just came to me and they gave me a hug and they said, "Ki, can you do something for us? Can you tell this thing? We don't want to do that, but we don't have any option." And then the dialogue started. Then I was not nervous. I was like, okay, I am in college. I don't have any money. There's only some pocket money and what I was getting from a part-time job. But I was sure that I want to tell this story. That became a very emotional thing for me. And then I started. See, it's a journey. When I remember 2008 when I went there, to 2008, before 2008 I think 2008 I started doing research. I was there somewhere around I think 2007 somewhere, and the research and then believing in yourself that okay, because I never did it any, there's no proper professional training. I did some editing course, but there's no training to make cinema. So it was just my anger that I wanted to take it out and I wanted to tell. So I went to Madhya Pradesh, I went to Karnataka, I went to Andhra Pradesh, heard about Devdasi system, Mathamma, Jogamma, and whole human trafficking, flesh trade. And when you're doing it, many difficulties. First, the languages were different in Andhra and Karnataka. There's no money, like no money to hire a camera or camera person. I was never. I don't know. There was college madness that okay, I want to do it, and anyhow I will do it. And things started coming. Like I met some people in Bangalore. There's a group called Pedestrian Pictures. It's an organization. So I met a guy called Deepu, and I remember I met him in a film festival. I was in Bangalore, and I just went to that film festival, and I was just meeting people, and I was saying, okay, I'm here. I came from Delhi right now, and I want to make a film. So I met Deepu, and he asked me about whole thing that what exactly what's your plan and why you want to say it. And I told him the whole thing, and he said okay, let's start working on it. I'll help you in that. So I started. I always say that they all are my you want to do something and the thing starts coming. There was no money, but I got a camera for the research. I started some of my friends, and my girlfriend was there that time. She helped me. Then there was no money for edit. I spent some 6 months on the research, more than 6 months, and then I shot like different times. I was earning and then going, then working it again. So getting a producer, like if the producer or what producer, they are nothing. I don't know anything. I just okay, I want to tell the story. It was some days it was when I shot the film. There was no money for edit, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. I was literally crying because it was very emotional journey for me when I met those women, and they became my family for me. So one day, I just got a message from a guy who saw me doing play in Delhi Heart in Delhi, and he said, "Okay, what you're doing these days?" And I was crying and I was a little drunk, and I said, "I don't know. I don't want to talk. What's my life is, but I want to tell there's something happening and I need some money, this much amount of money." And then he said, "Okay, tell me how much you want." I said some 2-3 lakhs, whatever that time I needed. And then he said to me, "Okay, tell me your bank account and I'll send it to you." And I never met him, and I was like, don't. I was a little tipsy, and I said, "Don't make fun of those things because it's not a thing that it is something that's very personal to me." And he said, "No, tell me your bank account." And then I sent him the bank account, and the Chetan who became the producer, if you'll see Holy Wives, and he sent me the money. In 5 minutes, I had the money, and I went for the edit and mixing and everything. So that's how like there was when you're honest, I feel it's just things starts coming. And then I finished my film. However, when I see back, I can see the honesty in the film. Technically I see there are a lot of things that I have to improve, I have to work. Now I see the film, but there was honesty, and that helped me to finish my whole work. But yeah, so many things, like it's not a one thing that comes. There's a lot of problems come. Emotionally you get exhausted, financially you're super exhausted, but only one thing that's there is the honesty with you, that you want to say this thing and this is very important for you. That's it.
Yeah. And sir, what was your parents' reaction? Like you were making films, what was their reaction?
My parents reaction, my parents like my father is an engineer, so he wanted to see me as an engineer. And then he saw my marks, and then he said, okay, you can't be an engineer. So he said, okay, become a CA. So then after some time he understands, okay, I can't be a CA. So then he said, what do you want to do? Do you want to be an actor or director? Who are you? What you do? But I started kind of doing part-time jobs. I was trying not to put a lot of load, like not to get take money from the parents. So my parents' reaction when I was doing it, they never understand. I think from the theater days, they didn't understand what I do and what's my goal and what I want to become. My father always saying that uh, cinema बड़े लोगों की जागीर होती है. Cinema only rich people can make it, and when you can't make it, then you become suicidal, and there are so many stories like that. So the, for them it was so many funny moments. It was like they never didn't understand the whole thing. I remember when the Holy Wives came out, and a lot of newspapers started talking about the film, and it went to the festivals, and that once I went to meet my dad there was a marriage ceremony in the village, and then he was asking like what you're doing, like are you earning or not, like think about you, what's your goal, no kya karna hai. And then I had all those newspapers cutting because that time internet was not much accessible. So I was always like, okay, this new newspaper came, so I had one file in my bag, and I took out all those like, okay, see this newspaper, see this newspaper, see this newspaper. So then he said, okay, this guy is doing something that's exactly newspaper is talking about. But he also asking, ki, okay, what about the money? I said, I will get it one day, right? I don't know when that one day will come, but yeah, that my parent never understand that time. My parents are from Bihar, so mostly they talk about ki there's a guy called Bhojpuri cinema mein Nera hua, and this guy, and they all are becoming popular. You are not becoming. You never come on. Like I want to see you on TV or cinema somewhere. Like what we will tell to the these neighbors when they ask what your child do. So I say director. The where's the film? So I say okay, I'll give you the photocopy of the newspaper, and then you keep it, and whoever asks, give it to them, show it to them, and that I literally did it. I gave it to my dad, and a lot of times my dad was doing that only. Like okay, this he do. The newspaper are talking about him, but I don't know what he do and where is his film. So yeah, that's my reaction to my parents.
Okay, great, great, sir. Have they watched the film? Have they watched your films?
Yeah, they watched. I remember showing Holy Wives, my first documentary, to them. I think they watched all of my film. But Holy Wives, when they watched it, it's my mom is not very good with English, so she can't read the subtitles. So she understands this whole Hindi thing only. My dad went through. He saw the film, but it was not a commercial or Bollywood, and documentary is not the thing that he knows so much. For him, it was more like news thing. So yeah, for him it was okay. For him, it was just a newspaper cuttings and more than the film. And he said, okay, he is doing something for people. That somewhere I think helped him to understand. But still, it's hard for my parent to still understand me, because Indian family mostly see that are you established, do you have money, uh, what's your plan for marriage. Those things are the main question. वो तुम्हारा पक्का हो जाना बहुत ज़रूरी है. So वो major problem था that that's still there. So yeah.
Okay. And sir, your experience while making Rainbows Are Real?
Rainbows are real. Every film, I feel I never make the film because okay, I just want to make film. It's always I did Holy Wives because I met this lady who was working for this community, and I made Rainbows Are Real because I first time I met a guy who was gay in an organization. Because after Holy Wives, I started an organization called Avan Foundation, who started working on human trafficking in India. So we did a lot of campaign. And 2008, I got an award called Youth Activist from Ashoka Foundation and all. So that time they were doing this Change Room Award. Prava, this organization was organizing this Change Room Award, and there I met a guy, Sovik, who was a gay. But before coming from the small town, for me, the game is like, okay, I don't want to touch. I don't know what will happen. I don't know how are these people. No? I have something there. Like the gender was not clear for me, and but when I met him, and I remember the day when we all have to share about ourselves, and he was sharing about himself, and he was telling about his own story, and that made me to tell the story. And I said, I remember spending my time with Sobek at that time, and just being there with him, and this whole thing of this whole, no, okay, there is something that gay and they gay. There's only one thing that you understand: you will touch a gay, or something you are not like same sex, you don't love the same sex, or this whole thing. But all those things got broken, and Sovik became my very close friend. He's still my very close friend. We talk whenever we get time, and I just that was the day when I tell Sovik that I really want to know about this whole gender issue, and I want to talk about this issue. And I really feel, because I have this thing, and I coming from like staying in Delhi and doing college from Delhi, I still have this stigma. So there's so many people in the villages and in the schools. So I really want to know. And because the documentary good part is that it's not you are just telling, you are knowing first, you are understanding, you're doing a lot of research. And then I felt, okay, this is my topic that I want to um, tell. I was working at that time. I was working as a drama teacher in Sri Ram School, Delhi, to earn my bread and butter. And the same time when I was in school, I was taking some time out and going to Kolkata whenever there's a summer vacation. I was going to Kolkata, and all my students who were studying in that school, I started seeing, okay, who is a good musician, who is a good singer, and the whole thing. Like I was telling, whenever I coming back, I was telling about the story that I'm working on. And I shot the film again. The same organization, Pedestrian Pictures, helped me this time again, and the belief more. And Govind, who was very good friend, he shot the film. Different time, different people came. Then he was busy. Then other guy came. The other guy came. So we started shooting. We shot in Delhi, and I wanted to. Rainbows Are Real was still experiment. I wanted to tell documentary, but I also wanted a song in that. I also wanted a music in that. I just wanted to make the story more available and fun for also the common audience. I don't want it ki okay, the documentary film, the audience is watching and they're like I wanted to make this film exactly for kind of my mom and dad audience, who was like, okay, listening, there's some dramatic Bollywood kind of music, and there are cuts. So I was just doing the experiment at the same time, and I just felt like, because what happened at that time, I saw that the Holy Wives just went to the film festivals, and it was so hard to common audience to access that film. So all my films, if you'll see, it's copy left. It's not copyright. Holy Wives also, when we were doing the distribution, I was like, screen it whoever in any place wherever in the world you are, and just inform me. So we started this kind of campaign, and Rainbows Are Real, we did the same thing. Made it copyleft, made it available for everyone. And then this whole Rainbows Are Real journey started, and we started working. And yeah, for me it was also got. I'm so happy that whole gender thing and made me who I am. Like I'm not the same person after making Holy Wives and Rainbows Are Real. There's so many change started happening in me. So yeah, that was the Rainbows Are Real story.
Okay, okay, great. So, how much time it took to complete the film Rainbows Are Real?
2010, I finished Holy Vibes, and 2008, when this whole Changelum award thing was going on, I met this guy, Sobik. And that time only I thought that I want to tell that story. So, but the Holy Wives, completing Holy Wives took a lot of time. And 2010, after finishing this film, I started doing the research. But somewhere 2011, it was not easy to again to because at that time it was there's no distribution, and there's not internet was so popular that everyone is watching. You can put it on YouTube or all. So it took me some around 3-4 years to finish it, doing the research, and in between getting some money, going for that. So 2013 somewhere I think I finished the film, and rainbows are real, and this whole high court thing was going on, and the Supreme Court verdict was coming. So again, all my films became a campaign. Like Holy Wives also became a campaign. So it's not like uh, just many 2008 6 May. I think Holy Wives I started 2005 or 6 somewhere. I started thinking and finished it at 10. But the campaign goes on, and then same happened with Rainbows Are Real. I did research, made my team, got tried to raise some fund, and then a lot of people came, a lot of people went back. So it took 4-5 years to finish it and did the whole campaign. Yeah,
Okay. Sir, how big was the crew in both of these films, sir?
very small crew, very small crew. Uh, Holy Wives, me and one of my very close friend from Amsterdam, Katrina Nikolova. So we both went for the research. She also wrote a very good research paper on that, on the human trafficking in Bedia Bachra. She was working on that, and that helped me also a lot doing my film. So that time there was two people doing the research, and later on, one DOP joined, Yuvraj Swami. Yuvraj is no more, but he was very amazing DOP. And yeah, so there are 3-4, like one translator in Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. So that was the crew, 3-4 member. That's it. And Rainbows Are Real is the same. Me, one of my assistant, Tanvi, and one of the DOP, and some local like friend. Like so, every time both of the films there were 3-4 crew member, including me. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And sir, your experience while making your short film Red Soil, sir.
So yeah, so I made two short film after that. I made one film called Khalish also. Yeah, I came to Bombay, and in 2014 I came to Bombay. I like, okay, this is the time I done documentary is something that I did it. I had my fun, but I always wanted to tell a fiction story. I'm still the guy who love this Bollywood film. So I wanted to tell story. So I did. I shot because this thing that okay, you want to do it. I want to tell something that I feel it, and something I wanted to talk about domestic violence that I saw in my life too. So then Khalish came. Rashri Deshpande, she acted in the film. She's an amazing actor. So that she was in Pan Malin's film at that time when I met Rashri, and Rashri said that okay, she's ready. Indian Angry Goddess, yeah, Angry. Yeah, yeah. So that time I met her and Rashri and Pankaj. So I said that I really just want to tell this story, and then Rashri was said, okay, I'm in, and I made it's 15-20 minutes film on domestic violence and Hamara movie or someone, I think. Yeah. But kind of like every time I make the film and I don't like it, I say, I don't know. It's also it was my 2 day. I remember I don't have any money to make Khalish, and I shot the whole film. And Bombay is very different from me. The people are very professional. They want money at that time. So actors were amazing, but there are a lot of people, food wala, and there's a camera electric department and all those things. And I was like literally begging, okay, please, please, please. I just wanted to make the film. I don't have any money, and literally I don't have any money. I just came to Bombay with some of the money, and there was no money, and I just got some money from some of my friends, some money that I had, and then I made Khalish. So 2014 I made Khalish, and I yeah I did it, but I didn't like it much. So it went to some festivals. The whole festival, fiction short film festival, that was all new for me. Uh, and then it was on YouTube. Uh, but later on, the main idea goal was to do a feature film. And that was the main thing that I came to Bombay कि अच्छा अभी बॉम्बे में रह करके मुझे फिल्म करना है. But Bombay was there's this place that started like taking exhausting me. Like I was working as an assistant director to some. Uh, I didn't know that it's what they're making it where I was working. It's kind of a semi-porn film. And I was like working and doing the casting director and all those things. But when I read the script, I was like, what the shit I'm doing it. I remember meeting Govind Nehlani because I was a big fan of Govind Nehlani. So I wanted to make that kind of film like Shyam Benegas and Govind Nehlani or Guru Dutt. But I was not able to meet those kind of people. It was so hard. So if people call it struggle, it was a struggle. Like I was also walking, going to those places, doing my Andheri East, Andheri West while walking. Uh, but it was very exhausting for me. So I left Bombay in 2015 somewhere. Yeah, and I went back to Delhi, worked there as again a drama teacher, and then came back, started working on one of the films, started writing it and thinking. And two of my friends who were the writers told let's write a feature film script, and we started working on it. But we wrote something that they needed a big budget. So uh, and no one was ready. Like it was so new for me. I don't know how to get the money, like where to go, whom to ask. The film that, and it's also you, because when you're telling a fiction feature, you need a lot of belief in yourself. So that was also one of the things, like am I ready? So those all things were there for me. But then I felt okay. I don't know if I can tell right now or not. Uh, I can't call that depression, but it was something that I was weaving. But the Bombay thing was not working for me. Like it was so hard because Bombay you have to pay a lot and you have to live there and you have to make their connections. And I was not good on all those things. I don't want, like I said, okay, I want to make film. मुझे फिल्म बनाना है, मुझे फिल्म कहना है, मुझे पैसा दो, मैं बनाना चाहता हूँ, मैं कह सकता हूँ, वो मेरे पास था, कुछ था मेरे उसमें जो हमेशा. So I made my team, lot of I talked to a lot of people, did my auditions for feature film that I was working, but it didn't work out. So then somewhere I started writing a short film that okay, I'll tell a short film and then I'll go for. Then the Lal Mati came in 2017, and then I met Vishwesh, who is the producer of Jhini Bini Chadariya, my feature film also. And then I said, okay, this I want to make a short film, and this is the story. And then he talked about Chhattisgarh and about mining issues because his dad is working in Chhattisgarh. He has his own mining company. But Vishwas felt about the story and said, okay, let's see how we can do it. We don't have a lot of budget for this, but I can help you giving the space and you can stay at that place and I'll put some budget on that. And then it just happened. It's just 2017 because long time I didn't do 2 3 years. I was just trying to make feature and that was not working. Then I wrote Jhini Bini Chadariya at that time also, and because it was not easy to get a producer on board. And Jhini Bini Chadariya, how I wrote it and how I wanted to make it, no producer was ready to put their hand. They all were saying कि नहीं नहीं इसमें ऐसा करो, इसमें ऐसा मसाला डालो. और मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा था, मतलब कमिंग फ्रॉम बॉलीवुड स्टिल मसाला और कैसे क्या कर सकते हैं. आई मेट लॉट ऑफ insane people at that time. That that literally was super frustrating for me. But then I shot Red Soil Lal Mati, like one of my friend Ajay Saklani, who said, okay, I'll come with the camera and you don't have to pay for the camera, but just pay for the traveling and I'll help me in that. Like so, the people came together, and it was just 4 5 days we shot there. We met real tribal people, and I auditioned those tribal kids and the women that you see, and the men. And then I felt okay. Let's tell the story the way, and let's experiment with Red Soil. Let's do something different. And yeah, then the Lal Mati came. So both of the film has that journey, the short film.
Sir, now let's talk about your feature film, sir, Jhini Bini Chadariya. How that came, how the
Mhm.
idea came, the whole process, sir.
Jhini Bini Chadariya. Yeah, Jhini Bini Chadariya. I think 2014, somewhere when I finished Rainbows Are Real, and I was working on my film. I'm working with writers, and had the idea of to make a film called Narayan Talkies, and it was not working out. It was not working out. Narayan Talkies how I wanted. It was not coming out like that. I was not able to believe. We don't have the same tuning. And then I said, okay, uh, I can't make the film that I'm not writing. I can't. I felt it. I have to, because I saw all these short films or documentary. I said it. It was always there in my in somewhere in the heart, somewhere in my life. So I said, कि अभी तो I can't say it, because I was not involved in writing much when I was writing Narayan Talkies. So then I said, okay, I'll write it by myself. Let's try. I'll see whatever happened. Then I started writing it. I started writing my first draft. Went to Varanasi, did some of the research. Went to Lucknow. I was trying to find the stories from the place where I am, because I am coming from UP and Bihar background. So it was easy for me to tell the story that I saw or somewhere I feel. So Jhini Bini Chadariya, because I worked with the characters who are in the sex slave and who are in the dance, because the holy wives Devdasi Mathamma is somewhere talking about the vulnerability, how the women are because of the caste system and the whole system. So that character came, the Rani's character, who was a dancer, and because holy wise, I met a lot of women who literally wanted to, who were ready to do anything for their kids, and that emotion was always with me, it stayed with me for long, because it was I was there personally and seeing them. And so Rani character came because Bihar and UP, I saw them dancing and dancing on those vulgar songs, and they like the kind of song they are dancing it's so insane. Like you, when after, like when my childhood, it didn't come in your mind, because you're not that ready to understand. You're just seeing it. But later on, when I understand and started doing more research, then I felt, okay, this is something, this character is somewhere that I really want to tell. So again, it came with the whole documentary cinema and theater started helping me. I understand Rani's character, started spending a lot of time with this woman in Varanasi whenever I was going back. And then this Muslim character, Weaver's character, I wrote it, and before it was not Muslim. I wrote something else. It was Mantu. Mantu is very near to me. I read Mantu a lot and did a lot of plays. So that time I was trying to get some characters with Mantu's stories and Mantu's characters. But later I started evolving and it started coming the characters that I know. So then this Weaver character came, and I started thinking and writing about them. So as a writer, because I never wrote, I always improvised, as a theater actor. So I started mm, playing those characters while writing it. So that became my dialogue, because that was a good part for me. That was a part that I know. So then I started writing. It was Tana Bana, Taskira earlier, and then name started changing, how the character started changing. So two drafts, three drafts, 16. I wrote a draft that I started feeling, okay, that's something that I can tell, I can say. And then this Baba character and this another character of Ada came. So, and then 16, somewhere when I believed it, I decided to shoot a trailer. So I went to Varanasi with one of the DOP and shot the trailer of the film to raise some fund and to get some budget. One friend who put some money on that. But again, how the movie started evolving, and because I wanted to make a big Bollywood film, because again I had this whole thing of making a Bollywood cinema, telling a larger than life story, and designed with the music and sound in that way. But there was no budget, and uh, and then I also started feeling that okay, there is no budget, then I really want to tell the story in the way that I'm honestly feeling. Let's go in the same process. So the writing get about one Shalindu, who's an associate writer who came in the writing process also. And Jhini Bini Chadariya 2017, I was ready to tell in the way I wanted to tell. I got it. Okay, that's my budget. So Vishwesh, who was who produced my short film, I told him the story and I said, okay, I want to tell in this way, and this is somewhere this whole thing that's happening, the hate, the violence, this whole political thing, things are not correct. I'm not okay with that, and these are my character. This is the story, and that I'm feeling. But now I want to tell. This is urge of to tell this story, and whatever budget you have, I did that kind of trailer that I have. I have my friends so who are really like this story. So let's do it. And then he said, okay, I can put some budget and let's start. And then when he said yes, because that was also his first film as a producer, and he is a filmmaker himself and wanted to tell a story. So he said, okay, before directing, I'd love to get into the production. And let's see. I will also learn. You also go for this. Let's make it in as a small budget. And um, I said, okay, I just one thing that I need is the freedom, the way I want to tell this story. And he said, okay, that you can go for it. Tell the story how you want. And then the whole thing started. Jhini Bini Chadariya started growing, and the story was ready, and I had some budget, and then the casting started. Yeah.
Okay. So then it also went to NFDC as well.
NFDC, it went, NFDC, it went, and that was the time when I felt okay, because when I was doing this whole film, the casting process was not exactly the process how people did it. How people did it, I don't know. It was all the process that I was believing in. I was believing in this whole journey, and somewhere I felt I wanted to take this whole non-actor, but then I know that it's a drama. I can't take the non-actors. I have to take actors. So the casting took a lot of time. It took some 2.5 years, and somewhere in 18 we finalized our characters, and then I did 2 months and 3 months workshop in Varanasi with those actors, took them into that place, and they stayed there. They spent time there, and they started getting the script and evolving more. The script and the dialogues became the part. They started talking. The team started calling them as their name of the character, and the whole team was exactly my friends and the people whom I know. Priya Shankar Ghosh, who's my DOP, is a very good friend. Um, Ashish, who's an associate director, is a very good friend. And there are other people who became my friend, while Shadab, who did the Muzaffar Khan's, Muzaffar Khan, who did the Shadab, he's also a very good friend. So everyone started believing in, but the shot taking was different. We wanted to go for long shots. We wanted to go for a very different kind of cinema that we were just feeling that okay, it's correct for that. And this whole process took a lot of time. 18 we shot the film, but uh, when we were editing it also we took a lot of time, and we were going with Bhishma came, and the people started coming in this journey, and we don't have any budget. We don't have any budget for sound. So finally we got someone who said okay, we'll do the sound, because we wanted to do everything in a very professional way. It's kind of the film, how the film has to come, like okay, it's a small budget film, but it doesn't have to look like a small budget film. It has to be look like how I'm feeling it. So NFDC Film Bazaar recommends, when it got selected, then I got something came okay. Somewhere this is the film that I made. It has something that this kind of recommendation gives you confidence. And then it got selected in NFDC Film Bazaar recommends in 2019, I think. Yeah. And there I met my co-producer who said, okay, he will take care of the sound budget and help me to finish the film. Yeah. So then this whole COVID thing came, and Then COVID, we were doing the sound, and the COVID came, and then everything stopped. And then it was a big gap. It was first debut feature film, and it was very frustrating because, but then I saw that everyone's work stopped. It took a lot of time, and then 2021, uh, I finished the sound and finished the final film. Yeah.
So the character who is the daughter, like she is an actor, or you know her?
No, she's not an actor. The daughter, she's deaf, and she is from Varanasi. We met her in Varanasi in a school, and I did the casting of another girl. But somewhere I wanted someone who literally can't talk and speak, and it has to be something the eye, that literally taking you in. So then I met this girl, Pinky, Rupa, and then then we got Pinky is non-actor. The guy who played a character of a politician, Shiv Shankar Yadav, he's a non-actor. The Sadav's mother is a non-actor. Yeah, so we did the workshop with actors and non-actors in a very different way, and and then that was the process with working with actors and non-actors and taking them into the same page, making actors in the way that they look like from the plays, and they don't look like an actor so who are doing it. So yeah, making it everyone in the same tune. So yeah, that's how Pinky and other characters came.
Okay, great. So, is it premiering anywhere, or is it screening anywhere, or is it going to?
Right now, so it was not screening like we are sending it Vimeo link to people somewhere who ask for, because we didn't apply for censor, because we know that there's something that censor will cut it. And this is that I don't want, my producer don't want, and we feel that how we made this film with that honesty, it has to come out in that way. So whenever it's some screening is happening, any festival is taking it, it is screened in a lot of film festivals. It was a long journey from 2021 November till this 2024. It was world premiere in Tokyo, IFFK, an Indian premiere happened. Then New York, it got best debut feature, and then Berlin it's got screen, and London it got screen. It screened a lot of places, and also we send it to friends to screen it. But yeah, we literally want to get it on OTT platform. The world can see it because it's a very important film that we feel people have to see it. And we got amazing response from the audience in Kerala, in anywhere people watch the film, and we have this confidence it will come on the mainstream cinema. People will love it, and when there are a lot of propaganda films are coming in this time, when the cinema it looks like a very propaganda film. I feel like this story with a lot of human emotion involved. Uh, but dark days, it's not easy to not OTT platforms are not ready to take it. I know that they can't, and we tried a lot of OTT platforms, but with all the things that's happening in the country, we know that OTT platform will not take it now. So we are waiting for the time. Let's see if it's whenever it will screen. There is a page called the Brittle Thread in Instagram. People can go through it, follow it, so they'll get the information. I'm also sharing on my page, talking about the film whenever it's happening. Yeah.
Okay. Sir, are you currently doing any projects, future projects? I know you were, sir, doing LSD too.
Yeah, I worked with Dibaka. So I worked there recently in 2023. So I did actors, I did the acting coach, worked with actors. It was such a beautiful process and beautiful time with Dibakar. I love his energy and how he see the film in a very different way. Learned a lot. And it was again a film that I know that's going to release. And I worked there as a second unit director also. So directing some of the part in the film, that was also so much fun. And how to work in a pressure and how to work when the team is bigger, and yeah, and you have to get the vision of the director. as a second unit director also, when you are directing the actors, and when you are understanding the director's vision. Because as a director, I never assisted anyone, so that was fun because I don't have to assist here, but I have to understand. And as coming as understanding the director's vision, understanding making actors work. And it was so much fun to work with the actors. They all are amazing. That LSD2 trailer also released. So it's. I'm so happy to see them. Okay, they are performing. Also saw some cuts, and final film is going to come on 19 April. So I'm excited for this. So yeah, LSD2 is done. It's going to be there, and but I'm working on a film that a long time back I was working with Narayan Talkies, but now it's changed. It's with the new name, and it's a very dear to me again, and because it involved from 2014 to 2024, so 10 years, a lot of change happened, and 10 years the film is very new and fresh, and something that I'm excited for. So hopefully soon this year I'll start shooting it. Let's see.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So like if somebody wants to like assist you, there may be people who want to assist you, though how they can approach you, sir?
Mm, means I don't know. Right now, it's on in the writing. Still, rewriting process is on. Like because the screenplay is ready, but still every time you go and you do short description, the cast you, because it's first it's you are the captain of the ship, so you have to get everything. It's a big film. It's a film that I'm planning for very long, from my childhood days. The guy who watched Govinda's film, but something very meaningful and something that I really want to get released and want to see my film in theater. So I don't know how if anyone wants to assist, because assist working on my film Jhini Bini Chadariya and then with the Baka, I see this is your team is very important. So yeah, if someone wants to assist, they can just send me an Instagram message, or they can email me on my email ID. If my website riteshsharmafilms.com is there, my email ID, my number, everything is there. They can just connect to me, and whenever I'll start, whenever this film will start, or if I need it in between, I can go through it, and I can connect with. I feel I will again make my team for this film. So yeah, and people can connect to me. Easy, available. Yeah.
Great, great, sir. Sir, if you could recommend few films and filmmakers, sir, your favorite films.
Uh, my favorite film. There's so many films. There's not one film. It's hard for every time this favorite thing is changing. One time when I watched it, it was Shyam Benegal's film Ankur, Govind Nilani's film Akrosh. Then when I started watching a lot of Hollywood cinema, then there's Forrest Gump became very close film for me. Then I saw Kurosawa. Then I saw this Iranian filmmakers, and that became my literally close film. Like I literally love Jafar Panai's work and all. So every time it's changing. These days also, I'm exploring. I went to Indonesia and I watched this film called Leono Will Never Die. That's really still I'm with that film. Parasite. It's a film that, so I think every time it's different. Every time I see the film, and there's something that I see and feel it. Right now, it's LSD2 because I work there, so it's favorite. But nothing is favorite. It's always every film I see and I learn and I evolve, and I I try to see that film so many times as a audience, as a filmmaker, as a just a student. So every time it's becoming something becoming favorite. Some music become favorite. Some actors become my favorite. The overall film become like okay, it's something that's very interesting. Interstellar I saw and I was like, wow, how someone can create in this whole space thing and tell that story in this way. So there's so many ways. The world is big. The cinema is online. These films are everywhere now, and all my fellow filmmakers like Achal, who made Gamagha, my Prabhash, who made beautiful film on Kashmir. So Prasoon, Dosto Ji. So also all the films are my favorite kind of. And Joram I watched recently, where Megha, who worked as Rani there, she also worked there. So that's also became my favorite for some time. So it's every time it's changing, every time it's new. So nothing is favorite, but everything is favorite for me. Everything is something that I really like it. Yeah.
So last question is, if somebody wants to become a filmmaker, like what advice would you give to them?
Yeah, that exactly advice I was taking from people when and still I uh, what I learned from my journey, from this whole 10, 14 years of journey, that if you want to be a filmmaker, basically filmmaker is a storyteller, and everyone is a storyteller now these days. The world changed. You are a filmmaker of 5 minutes and 2 minutes. You are making films on Instagram. You are editing it. You're putting in music. So that's cinema. You're putting the music. You're putting the sound. You're editing. You're telling the story. Cinema open now. मतलब cinema is it can be any duration. It can be anything. You just have to tell the story and you can make your audience. Uh, Things change now. Everyone wants to be a popular filmmaker, and these days when and the small videos makes you popular and you become influencer. So I think everyone is a filmmaker and influencer in the way. But if you really kind of want love telling a long format storytelling, write. That's the first part. Write it, believe. If you're not able to believe, try to understand. Write something that's close to you that you know. If you don't know, do the research, understand it. And somewhere, if you're not clear, also there's a confusion. Go for it. Try to get your friends, get their help. Tell, because if you want, no, people will see that you want to become a filmmaker and you want to tell. Become means it's not, it's a passion. uh, it's not a job, no. It's basically you're a god. You are, it's what you want to become. You want to become a god. You're giving a birth. You're making the characters. You're telling them do this, do that. You're creating this whole world. So becoming god means it's not an easy thing, but it's also easy thing. If you feel that okay, you are a god, you're a god means you are a storyteller that you really want to tell. So just go for it. Just go for it. Cut, edit, put the music, make shots, make big, do it and learn. Because I feel uh, I spent a lot of time just going to interviews of that, and those times when there was a chance to tell the small stories, uh, but every time you needed a camera, minimum 5D or 7D. Mobile was not that great. Now iPhone, no? मतलब अभी iPhone तक you can hire it from people, friends. So you have a big chance. So if you are young, youth, never did a film but want to be a filmmaker, shoot, edit, put music, tell the story, show it to your friends. A lot of people said it already. मतलब अनुराग कश्यप सर जो इंडिपेंडेंट फिल्म मेकर हम सब कैसे हम लोग देखते आए हैं और वो भी हमेशा यही बात कहते हैं कि जस्ट मेक इट, जस्ट एडिट इट, फ्रेंड्स से उनको बोलो कि कपड़े लेके आए, as खुद के वो करें और खुद बनाओ. So I think you just have to try in that process if you want to be a filmmaker. And when you have that, when you're ready and you feel okay, you want to say something and you believe that you want to say this thing, and in that way you literally did all those experiment, then kind of go for it. Like somewhere I feel okay, now I want to tell a cinema that I want to get a release, that I want to because cinema is for audience. I just don't want to make films as going to festivals, some people tapping your back and saying wow 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 and then it's gone. So I'm always making film for audience, and that's my goal, that's my journey. I'm I'm not thinking to create some or make films की वो ऐसा ऑस्कर मिल जाए और ऐसा कुछ हो जाए और वो मैं कुछ ऐसा कर दूँ उनको, कुछ क्रिएट हो जाए. मैं ऐसा फिल्म बनाना चाहता हूँ दैट ऑडियंस अंडरस्टैंड, आई अंडरस्टैंड, इट्स ईजी, and there's emotion, there's a human emotion. So find your own cinema, find your own work and just go for it. That's it.
Okay. Sir, thank you so much, sir, for joining. Such a pleasure, sir. I love the film Jhini Bini Chadariya. I really, really love the film, sir. So important, so well made, so what a story, sir. I really love it, sir.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for talking to me.
My pleasure, sir.
All my journey. Yeah, it took me back to the whole journey
Great,
from where I started and
great.
what I did, what I'm doing.
Yeah,
So I hope I'll keep making films and keep telling my stories. And
absolutely.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.